Hello, one and all. Welcome to the Horror Syndicate Horror Movie Massacre. My name is Razor. I'm checking to see if we're still live on Facebook. If you can hear me or see me, let me know. My connection seems to be really poor. Again, and I just had them out the other day. If you can't see me, I don't know what's going on. Who knows? Anyway, we're here to talk about our top 10 favorite vampire movies that are not having Dracula. Not having Dracula. There are a lot of vampire movies, a lot of them, tons of them. And I would almost say there may be more vampire movies out there with Dracula included than there are any other subgenre like zombies or werewolves. Although Seth would probably tell me there are 130 werewolf movies that I've seen this year alone. But we're going to talk about our 10 favorites. So we will not have any mention of The Prince of Darkness and not the John Carpenter film, Christopher Lee. Some of these might surprise you, some of them may not surprise you. There are movies that will not be on the list. Like there's a weird movie from 1983. I think David Bowie's in. It's called The Hunger. I'm going to see if Seth has seen it. Movies like that Nate loves, Let the Right One In. It's a good movie in its own right. Not my favorite. And a movie that I have not seen yet called Innocent Blood. I've heard good things about it. I just haven't seen it yet. And this one's from the 80s as well. If you're new here, please subscribe. Please like the page, like the whatever. We are like less than 600 followers to 80,000 followers on the Facebook page, and we could always use a subscribe. So, without further to do, here is Seth.
What is happening?
Hi, Seth.
Hi, Raymond.
So, how many werewolf movies have you seen this year now?
Of 2025 werewolf films.
Just, yeah. No. Overall, all the werewolf movies you've ever seen.
I'm up to 138. I've kind of been slacking.
So, I was pretty close then that you've seen 130. I said 130, I think. I said of the year, but I meant like of all time.
Yeah,
Um,
and by the way, I think there's way more vampire movies than werewolf movies out there for sure.
I Now I'm not nothing against vampire movies because I like vampire movies, but like I swear I feel like the vampire movie could be kind of an easy genre. I think anybody could pick up and make a vampire movie.
Oh yeah,
Uh, and it's not again not nothing against vampire movies because I like vampire movies. It's like you can go to Spirit Halloween, buy some fangs and some fake blood, and bam, there you go. You can be a vampire.
yeah.
So like nothing against it. I love vampire movies, and I love the one thing I really love is there's such like a broad landscape of vampire movies. You know what I mean? Like there, it's not just you've got movies that have they're like about a vampire apocalypse, which we'll talk about. You've got the newer vampire movies like Abigail from last year or Sinners this year. Comedy vampire movies like the one with Jim Carrey, uh, which is a lot of fun. Once Bitten. You ever see this one?
Oh yeah, a long time ago.
Tons of fun. And then My Best Friend is a Vampire. So there's a lot of different types of vampire movies out there, and of course, and I'm a big fan of the show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I watched it. Um, I think it started when it was ending in like 2003, and those vampires are different. You got vampires with souls; they get dusted and all kinds of different stuff. So there's a wide range of vampire media out there, and some really bad stuff too that we just won't talk about. Uh, Hello, Kathy. But I don't know. I was thinking about things I've been wanting to talk with you about, but I haven't been able to watch it. I'm going to rewatch it again. I want to do a show about Salem's Lot because you and I both fucking love Salem's Lot.
Yep,
Full stop. We just love it.
yep.
And this is one of those that it's like Salem's Lot must be watched when it's cool outside in the fall, it adds to the atmosphere. Even though you're inside watching it, it adds to being
Yeah.
in Jerusalem's Lot. Am I wrong in saying that?
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. And last year we did get the a sort of remake, which I liked, but and I think you liked it too. But we were both left wanting a little bit more because everything was jam packed into like less than 2 hour film. Uh,
Yeah, that was one of those things where it's like I was okay with the movie for what it was because
mhm.
when they first announced it, they said, "Hey, we're gonna do Salem's Lot as just one individual movie." And I'm like, "Well, if that's the case, you're not gonna get everything from the book in there." So I
Yeah.
knew I went in knowing and prepared that there was going to be a lot of condensing, a lot of changes, and I enjoyed it for what it was. I didn't think it was an awful movie. Uh, Naturally, I prefer, of course, the original, and I'm one of the rare people who likes the 2004 uh, miniseries as well. But
And that's another one I'd like to watch and tackle at some point because there's a lot of good in there. Rob Lowe is not part of the good.
no, no,
No.
his Ben Mears is so smug.
Yeah,
I hate
yeah.
it.
I like Rob Lowe
Yeah,
overall, though. It's just
yeah,
not in this. So yeah, we'll get to
yeah.
that eventually. But I'm thinking I want definitely want to do a Salem's Lot episode about the 1979 miniseries. But we have decided, and I asked our Facebook followers. Um, at this point, so Salem's Lot was released in 1979 as a miniseries, a 2 night miniseries, and at this point, it's been released on video, DVD, Blu-ray, as one full movie, just like Stephen King's It from 1990. Is this not just a movie at this point? Can we not call it a miniseries? Because Seth was like, "Oh, can we add Salem's Lot?" I'm like, "I am." Yeah, it's a fucking movie at this point. Like you don't sit, you watch it in one sitting. We're not waiting for 2 nights to watch it at this point. It is also a movie at this point. The 1990 version, the Stephen King's The Shining from 98, 97, somewhere around, whenever that came out. That's a movie. They may have been miniseries when they came out, not anymore.
Yeah.
Um, but the way we're going to do our show tonight, Seth, is we're going to run down your list because I mean there are a lot of similarities to our list as far as the movies that are on there. It's just the listing is a little bit different. So we'll go down your list first, and we'll kind of talk about the movies a little bit, and then we'll go down my list and anything that's on mine that's not on yours, which there are a couple. I'll kind of talk about. We'll talk about them a little bit, but yeah, I looking through because you didn't see my list yet. I wanted to send it to you, but man, dude, my manager at work has been like trying to this no phone policy at work or whatever. It's 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 hard to do the horror syndicate stuff that I do, or even chat, or even check into my kids, because of
Yeah,
the phone thing. So
yeah.
I was trying to get this list done like all week, and I did. It just took me to today to get it done. But
When you proposed this idea, I was like, "Fucking awesome! I'm in." And I went and grabbed a notepad and paper, and
you were on it.
yeah. And I got to tell you, it was difficult because with vampire films, I think there's a lot of really good quality, um, strong vampire films. I mean, there's stuff that didn't make my list. There's stuff that I like. It's just stuff I haven't seen in a while, so I couldn't.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it was
Yeah,
difficult.
and there's a couple things we're going to mention, kind of, if we can beforehand, things that didn't quite make it. Like I don't have an image for all the subspecies movies, but uh, I've only seen, I think I've only seen the first 3 or 4 subspecies movies, but it's a fun franchise overall, and I know you absolutely love subspecies.
I do. I do. There's two. Like I made sure I only chose one for my list, but if I had to, I would have put the first three because the
Mm,
first three films are just awesome. It's a great trilogy on its own. The fourth one I didn't mind it, but it was weird with the way that they killed off a couple characters like off screen, and it was just setting up the whole like spin-off world with vampire journals, which is another one I like. Um, but I think the first three subspecies movies are really strong. So um, it sucks that I had to leave two of the three out, but uh, I got strong love for that franchise.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to October when we will do a ranking of all of the subspecies movies, which I believe all of them are streaming on Tubi. If not, I've got some work to do to find the rest of them. So because I know I have the first three on, I think there was a Blu-ray that came out that had the first three, maybe four. I don't remember. Uh, but I've got some of them, and I definitely am looking forward to that episode. I think that's the second October episode, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll be ranking all the subspecies movies come October, which is Radu. Yes, uh, we'll be doing that, and it'll be a good time. Let's real fast. Have you seen The Hunger?
So a long time ago, and I don't remember anything about it. That's with David Bowie, right?
Yeah, it's got David Bowie. It's a really strange. Susan Sarandon's in it also. It's a really strange movie. I
Yeah.
recommend watching it for sure, but I don't know. It was weird, and the poster art looks like an owl for some reason to me.
Mm.
But that's a lady's hair. It was kind of weird and all over the place with a weird ending, and I definitely recommend watching it though. It's definitely one to watch. I wanted to get your thoughts on Let the Right One In because I'm sure you've seen this, or at least Let Me In, the American version.
I've seen the American version. I do want to see the original. I heard it's superior. Um, the
Just ask Nate.
the Yeah, I do really enjoyed. I do really enjoy the American remake from Matt Reeves did that, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Did he? No,
Yeah.
let me look. I have no idea. Let me in.
Got it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wow. I had no clue.
Yep.
The guy
So,
takes fucking 6 years to write a script.
well, yeah, personal reasons.
All right. So yeah, Let the Right One. Nate loves that movie. His list would be so. I should ask him to do it, see what comes up on his list, but I'm afraid to because I bet you none of ours will be on. Well, maybe a couple of them. All right, so let's get your list kicked off because some of my images didn't load and whatever. The Nicolas Cage movie is one that I wanted to bring up. What is it called? Something Kiss, Vampire's Kiss, I think.
Oh, yep, yep.
I've never seen it. I've heard it's great. I bought it on DVD like 5 or 6 years ago from a Dollar Tree, but never watched it. So it's definitely one I'd like to check out because I have a top 50 werewolf movies list. Why don't I have a vampire list? I like vampires more. Uh, so let's get this kicked off with your number 10, which is 30 Days of Night.
Yeah, 30 Days a Night. I love this movie. I remember seeing it. I mean, I was pumped from the trailers. I thought they had really good trailers for it, and I saw it in the theater, and I absolutely loved it. I went and I saw it multiple times in the theater. It's been a little bit since I watched it. I do know that like I think it's very well directed. Um, I like the cast and everything, and I think I do have a little bit of issue with like pacing, like somewhere in the middle.
Mm,
Um, but this is what I love about this is how savage the vampires are.
yeah,
Um, there's no sympathy for these vampires whatsoever. They're just there to 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 be the villains. And in the era of I don't remember if this was this was before Twilight.
yeah. This is '07. I think Twilight was 11 or something like that.
Yeah, but like I don't know, it's just refreshing to get a vampire movie where the vampires are the villains and they're not meant to be likable. And I think it's a pretty brutal movie, and I dig it.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I remember the night I watched it. We back in the old days when I would blind buy movies, and I had
Mhm.
read the graphic novel, and
Oh, I've never read that.
it's cool. There's a few of them,
Yep.
but the first one's really cool. Plus, the art style is really kind of interesting. But yeah, I read the graphic novel because I'm a big comic book nerd, and so I was really interested in watching it. And my wife and I sat down, turned all the lights off, put it on, and just kind of were able to kind of get into the movie without any kind of interruptions. This was before Facebook and all that stuff, like '07. It was
Yeah.
nice. And I really liked, I've always liked Josh Hartnett, and Melissa George is pretty good.
Hmm.
Uh, for the most part, she sucks in Amityville Horror 2005 because that movie just sucks asshole. But but anyway, no, it's a good movie. I didn't have it on my list, but it'd be in the top 15 or so, I'd say,
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, 30 Days a Night's a cool one. And you're right, the vampires are really, really kind of scary. I mean, this is I remember thinking Breath of Fresh Air. It's been a while since we've had a scary vampire.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
yeah, and that's the same way now. Like we don't always get scary vampires. We get some bullshit vampires.
Hmm.
Um, but anyway, yeah, good movie for sure. Uh, Coming in at number 9 for you. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. One I have never seen this movie.
Oh, you
Daybreak.
haven't?
I own
Oh,
it, but I've never seen it.
ugh. I love Daybreakers. I think it's so well directed. I really like the story. There, it's funny. I was talking about this with Amber earlier. We have a similar issue with it where, when it gets to a certain point where it
Hmm.
brings in human characters, it's not nearly as interesting. But like the world that it built is just so unique. It's a world run by vampires,
Mm.
and there's a really neat conflict in that, with the fact that because nearly everyone in this world is a vampire, there's not they're going to be they're facing a crisis where they're going to be soon running out of blood to drink
Oh.
to sustain themselves, and so some vampires are kind of like feeding on themselves, which causes them to mutate into creatures. And it, uh, uh, you definitely have to watch it. It's got a great cast. Ethan Hawke, Sam Neill, William Defoe. It's very well directed. I think it's the same guys that made Jigsaw. Surprisingly, they did this in Predestination with Ethan Hawke, which was really good. But yeah, Daybreakers is a film that um, I was intrigued by with the trailers. I don't think I saw it in the theater. I may have, but I know I definitely got the the DVD of it and the Blu-ray of it, and yeah, I dig this movie a lot. I would recommend watching it. It's not a
Yeah,
perfect movie, but it's really I think it's cool for the world building.
on a scale of 1 to werewolves. How? No,
It's not
I'm
fair.
joking. Yeah, no, it's streaming on Paramount Plus, so I can watch Daybreak. I do own the DVD though, because that was back in the days before I had kids and had to, I just
Yeah,
bought stuff. I need a date night and watch Daybreakers cut up with cold beer. Yeah,
there you go.
me too. But whoop, maybe not a beer, maybe Powerade, because our sponsor today is. No, I'm joking. Um, yeah,
I
I've
do.
always wanted.
Oh, sorry.
I
No,
was
go
gonna say
ahead.
I've always wanted to watch Daybreakers. I just never. It's kind of fallen off the radar.
Yeah. Uh, I was. I'm gonna pull up a comment here. God, no God. What is that?
That's from 30 Days a Night.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah,
I
Danny
thought it was
Houston
because
hosting.
like
Yeah,
that popped up when you brought up Daybreakers, and I thought it was like, oh God, no, that type of deal. But
yeah.
okay,
No, it's yeah, that's a great chilling moment in the movie too. In
it's
30
been
Days a
so
Night.
long since I've seen
God,
that. I do gotta
no
revisit
God.
it.
Yeah. Well, they're so savage. Like they can almost not speak. It's
Yeah.
really, really a cool movie. That one's not streaming anywhere for free. Coming in at number 8 on Seth's list is James Woods and John Carpenter's The Vampire or Vampires. Awesome movie.
Oh, totally awesome movie. Very quotable movie. Um, I like James Woods a lot. Um, I like the vampire stuff in this. Cheryl Lee is really good in this, and I never really appreciated her as much until I watched Twin Peaks. But John Carpenter's Vampires is just it's a badass vampire movie. You know, like James Woods isn't like he's not really the intimidating type. Like it's a little difficult, like at first, to kind of buy into how much of a badass he is, but he's got the attitude, you know. And I had to include this on my list. I think it's just a really fun vampire western, good villain. Uh, I like the story. I like the score. And in case you didn't know, I'm a huge John Carpenter fanatic. So there's that.
Yeah, I mean, James Woods plays James Woods fighting vampires, and he's got some
Yeah,
really great lines in this movie. I love it. It's a good one for sure.
yep.
Coming in at number 7 on Seth's list, we're back to Salem's Lot.
Yeah.
I
So,
I love this movie.
oh, I
It
do too.
drips in atmosphere, you know.
Oh, it totally is. And doubling up with the fact that I also am a huge fan of the book. So Salem's Lot is the first Stephen King book I read in full. And I was in high school and I absolutely loved it. And then I tracked this down at a video store and watched it. And it's just such a good, it's not a totally faithful adaptation, but I think Toby Hooper did really good with it. There's a lot of really good visuals. Everyone talks about the kid outside the window, but there's also the scene with uh, Jeffrey Lewis's character sitting in the chair in the house with
Hmm.
his eyes glowing. Just really cool stuff. Yeah, this movie's great, and I'm with you on doing an episode on this and talking in depth about it. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it would be too. That's why I don't want to say too much about it. I just love Salem's Lot. It oozes atmosphere. You get a whole sense of the community, which is something I really like. I think the mistake in the 2024 Salem's Lot is it should have been a limited series. And I know you're going to say, well, they did that on Netflix with Midnight Mass. Sure, but Midnight Mass, I like Midnight Mass a lot, but like at the same time, it's like I would like to see Salem's Lot like that because it's different. Salem's Lot's in Northeast. It's by you, and Midnight Mass. It was like the isolation of being in that island is part of the character in the movie. It's not as isolated in Salem's Lot. I mean, Bonnie Bedelia, and I don't know what she does in the book, but her character, she leaves to try to go to Boston or something like stuff. So there's more of an outside world presence versus Midnight Mass. By the way, check out Midnight Mass on Netflix if you've ever watched. It's really really awesome.
It is so freaking good. I mean, that thing kind of started off as like a joke because it did remind me of Salem's Lot with the
Mm-hmm.
fact that it was such a slow burn and it turned out to be vampires. And then, by the end, it
Spoiler
gets
alert.
very chaotic. I think Salem's Lot must have been an inspiration.
It had to.
Yeah, I mean, with Flanagan doing a shitload of Stephen King stuff, it wouldn't surprise me. But yeah,
I'm curious to see if it is actually because you can see the DNA of Salem's Lot in
yep,
Midnight Mass for sure.
yep.
I'm gonna
Well,
have
I
to
mean,
look that.
even with the characters in Midnight Mass, you had that one lady who I keep telling people is a character who makes Mrs. Carmody from The Mist seem like a nice person. Um, is it's got the Stephen King type characters in it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like regardless of who the director is, most Stephen King movies or stories or whatever, they have that feel to them. They're all very similar. Even Graveyard Shift, which I'm not a huge fan of, they all feel like you can tell it's a Stephen King story. And
Yeah,
Midnight Mass has that same kind of feeling.
yeah.
So yeah, plug in Midnight Mass hard tonight. We're going in hard. Gonna fist it. All right, coming in. Sorry. Coming in at number 6 for Seth is Stake Land. If you haven't seen this fucking movie, do yourself a favor and see this fucking movie. Seth, tell them how cool this movie is.
This movie is so cool, and I was late to the goddamn party on this one. This is one like that, like way back when it came out. Like I would be scrolling through Netflix and I'd see it on there, and I just kept scrolling for some reason, and then I heard a couple of good things, and one day I just sat down and I watched it, and I just kind of really loved it. I love this idea of a vampire apocalypse. I'm a fan of Nick Damici. I think he's an underrated actor. Between the Stakeland films and Late Phases, and also Mulberry Street, he's really good in that as well. Uh, but yeah, this is a really awesome, badass vampire apocalypse film. Uh, and the vampires are savage, but then there's also the threat of the humans who are the religious
It's
group
very much
that.
like a zombie apocalypse type movie, where the
Yeah,
humans are just as scary as the vampires. Yeah,
yeah,
that's Daybreakers, and we talked about it already. Trickopedia, you're late.
you're late, Trekkipedia. Get with the program, sir.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that was like I saw back when this came out, or right around when this came out. I had rented um, a couple of movies, IFC Midnight or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw they had trailers before, which I thought was great because I think that's how I also fell upon seeing the House of the Devil, which I love. And
Mm-hmm.
this was one of the trailers. I was like, oh shit, this interesting, a vampire apocalypse. That sounds cool. And I went and they had it on sale at Family Video for $3. I was like, fuck it, I'll just buy it. And I loved every second of it. Yeah, Demici's a great character actor because he played his character in Stakeland, Mister or whatever he calls himself,
Yep. Yep.
versus his character in Late Phases are completely different, but he plays them perfectly, even though he's way too young to be a Vietnam vet. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but I think he still did. Like, even though we know he's young, I thought he still did actually really damn good job portraying an older man in Late
mhm,
Phases. But yeah, between Stakeland and Late Phases, you can see the range that he has. You know,
yeah,
so I think he's an underrated actor, and yeah,
yeah. Plus, for all you Halloween 4 fans, Danielle Harris is in this movie,
yep,
and for all you Top Gun fans, Kelly McGillis is in this movie.
yep.
There you go. So coming in at what are we at number six, five for you is From Dusk Till Dawn, which just lost the brackets to Army of Darkness of all things.
Oh,
Seth, Army
really?
of Darkness won again.
Oh, well, that's a shocker.
What are we gonna do with this world?
Uh,
Like I even did after the brackets. So just for fun, I was like, okay, I took Scream and Silence of the Lambs out because they felt people like, oh, Scream's just gonna win. Oh, Silence of the Lambs is gonna win. All right, fuck it. I took them out, and it still beat Army of Darkness. Still beat Scream, but it did not beat Silence of the Lambs. So anyway, I'm tired of Army of Darkness winning. I like that movie, and I watched it the other night. But I'm like, this movie just isn't that great. This can't be the movie that speaks for the 1990s in horror. Ugh.
no,
Anyway,
no, it
From
doesn't.
Dusk Till Dawn would be a better representation, in my opinion. It's two different movies. You've got your Tarantino type movie at the first half, and then it goes balls to the wall vampire fucking bloody gory mess of a movie, and it's fantastic.
100%. And this is what I mean. I love From Dusk Till Dawn for multiple reasons, but I mean the writing uh, from Quentin Tarantino is phenomenal. Just the opening sequence in the store alone,
Yeah,
and the way that they're talking, and there's just so many good lines in this film. I quote this all the time.
so do
Uh,
I.
I sent you a quote when you told me that you showed this to your son. I was like, I love that line. Do they
Which
look like
line was it?
psychos? Do they look like psychos to you? They
Yeah,
were
yeah,
vampires. Psychos do
yeah.
not explode when sunlight hits them. I don't give a shit how crazy they are.
You want to know
Um,
what's funny? Is Nate sent the same line.
did he really?
Yep.
That's funny. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, this movie is great. in my opinion, from beginning to end, I don't have a problem with the shift. I think it's
No.
actually really interesting that it starts off as a crime film, and then these people come across vampires at a titty bar. Um, and
Well,
the direction from Robert Rodriguez is so awesome. Like
mhm.
he's such a good director with action. So yeah, this movie is just it's definitely one of my favorites. It's to be honest with you, I even liked the two direct-to-video sequels to it, and I only
I've
saw the
seen the
first
second
season
one.
of the TV. The third one's actually pretty damn good. Uh,
Hmm.
it's a prequel. It's about uh, uh, what's her name? Selma Hayek's character. Uh, but like,
Satanic Pandemonium.
yep, it's kind of how she kind of became that. But in the TV show, I only saw the first season. I thought it was really good too. But yeah,
Yeah.
this is awesome movie, and hey, main character has my name, so shout out to them.
That's right. I was going to say one of the things I really like is the dynamic between the brothers.
Hmm.
There's Quentin Tarantino doesn't act often, but when he does, I always like his characters. They're always great, and Richie is a great character in my opinion. He's a psycho.
Yeah,
Like the whole thing with
yeah,
the bank teller and like she was going to run, and like he tries to convince Seth
yeah,
the whole time, and he's like, okay, yeah. And, you know, he's to try to be as calm as possible, and there's just fucking blood everywhere in the room and everything. It's in that whole scene with
yeah,
Juliette Lewis, and when he first meets her,
yeah,
he imagines that she says, "Richie, will you do me a favor and lick my pussy?" It's like, whoa,
yeah,
like you know.
yeah.
And then of course there's a good couple feet scenes for Quentin Tarantino in there for good measure. Um, no, this movie's awesome. This is actually my first exposure to George Clooney, and my mom's friend Kristen, who was I think I was 15 when this came out or 16. She took me. She's like, "You gotta see this movie. I loved it." She's a little bit older than me. She's like 24, 25, but she's like a big sister, you know.
Hmm.
And she took me. She's like, "I'm not gonna tell you anything about it." I'm like, "Okay." And I'm watching. I was like, "Oh, okay. It's kind of a Pulp Fiction type movie, kind of kind of like Desperado a little bit in a way." And then
Yeah,
I'm like, I leaned over. I was like, "I really dig this movie." And she's like, "Just wait." And then that happens. I'm like, "What the fuck?" You know, my 15-year-old mind was blown. And so I showed it to my son without telling him. I was like, "Yeah, it's a really cool." I didn't say vampires. We're a really cool horror movie. He's watching. He's like, "How is this a horror movie? How is this a horror movie?" And then I'm like, just watch it and let me know what you think at the end." And then of course the shit hits the fan, and he's like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "I told you," and he loved it. And that's exactly the exact reaction I wanted from him was what I got whenever he watched From Dusk Till Dawn. This movie, if somebody's not familiar with it, you gotta not don't tell them a goddamn thing about it. Don't show them any trailers. Don't fucking show them anything. Just tell them George Clooney's in it and Quentin Tarantino. They play brothers and they're on the run. Bam. That's all you need to know. That's all
well,
you need to know.
yeah,
If anything.
yeah. Well, one of the things that you kind of mentioned that I think is so true is the reason why it works so well is that it's like the perfect marriage between Quentin Tarantino style and Robert
Oh yeah.
Rodriguez style. It's literally like 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 you said, Pulp Fiction and Desperado. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
and it just works so well together. So yeah,
There's not much to not like. I can't think of anything. And Harvey Keitel, first time I ever even saw Harvey Keitel was in this. I had seen Reservoir Dogs. I didn't recognize him as the guy from Reservoir Dogs because he does not look like Harvey Keitel in this movie.
yeah,
I mean, the way they characterize these characters, it's perfection in many ways. I also love the scene where what did he say? Something about I'm on a trip with his son, and he's like, "What are you, a couple of fags or something like that?" I'm like, that was
yeah.
hilarious. I'm like, geez, that's dark, like. But
Well,
there's a couple things that I use from this movie that are kind of like low key quotes. Like every day before school, I get in the car with the kids. I was like, "Ramblers, let's get to rambling," or whatever he
yeah,
says.
yeah,
And then whenever my brother, my son, and my daughter argue, I'm like, "Be cool, you be cool.
Yeah,
And Reynolds, so when he saw those lines, he's like, "This is where you got that from." I'm like, "Yeah,
yeah.
can't help it." From Dusk Till Dawn's awesome. It's definitely one of the best horror films of the 1990s, regardless of the Army of Darkness fans, the Army of Darkness fans that came out to vote.
The
So
the one last thing I do want to say about it is I do love Harvey Keitel's character.
yeah,
Uh, the
Jacob.
the fact that uh, uh, was it Seth asked him to repeat something and he swore, and Harvey Keitel's character was like, "I'm one mean,"
Mm,
because he refused to
yeah,
swear. I thought that was good.
yeah, it was good. Great movie, great acting, great performances all around, and Cheech Marin. Gotta love Cheech. All right,
Listen,
coming in number four for Seth is he had to pick one, so he picked Subspecies Two. I can see why you picked Subspecies Two, by the way.
yeah. So again, I love the first three subspecies films. Um, I think they're all three really solid vampire films. Two, it was tough for me to choose between two and three because I think they're both so good, but I got to go with two. One, this is the first one where Denise Duff takes over as the lead actress. I can't remember the character's name off the top of my head. It was played by someone else in the first one. Um, it just kind of expanded, I think, the lore. I think Anders Hove is fantastic as Radu. I love Denise stuff in this film, um, and I think it's just to me. As much as I love the first one, I think two and three may be arguably better than the first one, in my opinion.
I
Um,
agree. I can agree with you on that, 100%.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, the subspecies movies, man, they're just it, it, they're ones that where it's like I have to watch them together. Like I can't just like pick one out randomly and watch it. Like I have to if I want to watch subspecies, I'm watching one, two, three, and on. You know what I mean? Yeah, this was a very cool movie, and I'm due for a rewatch. To be honest with you.
Well, yeah, especially since we're going to do a show in about 2 3 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, if there's one movie to kind of like represent the subspecies franchise, it's probably Bloodstone Subspecies Two.
yeah,
Um, it's like the first one I like a lot, and a lot of people like, oh, the first movie's the best one, but the story really gets going more in this one, and especially by the end, it starts to take off a little bit more. Um, yeah, and by this point, Radu, the what's his name, Anders Cove or something like that.
Anders Hove. Yeah,
Oh yeah, he really starts becoming one with Radu. He's good in the
yeah,
first movie, but by the time two comes around, he's really good.
yep,
Yeah, I really like subspecies 1 through 3 for sure. I gotta try to watch the other ones before a ranking show. Well, I'm not gonna try. I'm going to watch them.
yeah.
Coming up number three is George Romero's Martin. Go ahead. I don't like this movie, so go ahead.
Yeah, I know you don't like it. It's I think this is like an acquired taste movie. Uh, but what I love about George Romero's Martin is I think it's just a really unique take on vampires with the fact that this and it's tackling mental illness and all this other stuff. But like someone who so strongly believes he's a vampire and he kind of justifies it. Um, but also the fact that I love that Romero shows us glimpses into Martin's mind and how he thinks things are happening as he's doing his stuff. So in Martin's mind, when we get it from Martin's perspective, it's all like old gothic horror, black and white, mist, all that. And then there's the reality of it, which he's actually not a vampire, but there's a lot of mental illness running through his family. Um, it's low budget. You could say what you will about some of the acting in it, or even the pacing. It's a very character driven story. There's some stuff that happens in it that's kind of uncomfortable to watch. In particular, with what he does to his victims. Um, but yeah, I think it's just a really unique story, very character driven. Um, it's one that I've always loved since I first watched it, and I absolutely love the ending. I think the ending of this movie is like one of my favorite endings of all time. Um, yeah, again, this is not going to be for everyone, and I understand that it's sort of like an acquired taste movie, but I'm a huge fan of George Romero's Martin.
Yeah, it just I don't know. It was jarring to watch for me, and it just it didn't catch my interest. I guess is probably the best way to put it,
Yeah.
and I just didn't like it at all. That's just my opinion. I've got a deeper opinion about it, but I don't really want to talk about it because I don't want to be negative today. It's Vampire Day. um, Coming in at number two is the Lost Boys,
Hmm.
the most iconic vampire movie of the 1980s, probably. I
Yeah.
know you're gonna you have a preference, but this one is it's everybody knows Lost Boys.
Hmm. And for good reason. Um, so this is one that I definitely grew up on. I just think it's fun, and you know, people seem to trash Joel Schumacher after his Batman films, but they kind of forget that he's actually a good filmmaker. And this movie is no exception to that. Um, yeah, I love the characters in this. I love the story. I love the score. Um, like the ending, the showdown in the house. I just love that. Like that's my favorite scene in the movie.
Mm.
Um, yeah, Kiefer's such a great villain. Uh, I like what's his face there. I'm not good with names tonight. The guy that plays Michael. Um, God,
No,
Jason
I can't
Patrick.
think of his name. Jason Patrick. Yeah.
Yep. Uh, yeah. I really like him and his character arc in this film. I think it's like one of those like fun movies from beginning to end. I think it's also like a good movie. I mean, it can be debated, I guess, amongst parents, but I think it's a good sort of like preteen, like a movie you could show to like preteens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we saw it when we were like, I was 7 when I saw this, so
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
it back then.
I was real little too. I'm just trying to remember everything in it, but
There's
it's a good
no
movie.
overly sexual stuff.
Yeah,
So, and there's no over gore like the scene where you know Bill from Bill and Ted's Wild Stallions when he gets staked.
hmm,
It's some kind of weird, like it looks like tree sap, the
yeah,
blood or whatever. It's all sticky and junk. So there's nothing like too extreme in this movie, and it really kind of personifies the '80s, almost kind of punk culture as well, which is really cool.
hmm,
Yeah, it's a fun ass movie, man. I love yeah, Rolling Noodles, Michael. We got two of those back to back. Thank you for both of those because that is an iconic part of that movie. You'll never forget that scene when he's eating food and
yeah,
they're maggots.
yeah,
Yeah, I love that. Good stuff. Plus, it's just like man, you get the Frog Brothers are so cool. They basically own their parents' comic book shop, and they're at the same time they're aware of the vampires,
yeah,
in the city or in the town or whatever, and they're very serious about it. And
yeah,
I love how they're hardcore pressuring Sam to read these goddamn vampire,
yeah,
and then the whole comic book test with the Superman
yep,
stuff. I love that. That's so nerd.
yep.
Lost Boys is great. I have a little disdain towards Lost Boys at this point because my ex girlfriend loved it so much, and I don't love her. So anyway, Lost Boys is awesome. Well,
Yeah.
I love you, Seth. That's all that matters. Coming in number one for Seth. Friday night.
Yep, this is another one where it was like I never heard of this film.
Then
And
why is it number one on your list?
well, no,
I know I'm joking.
like back in the day, and I think I just randomly came across it in the video store. Um, Back when I would just go there and just rent a shitload of films. Um, and I 100% love this film. Charlie Brewster is such a douchebag, uh, but
Yeah,
his
he
friend
gets a
Evil
fucking
Ed.
hamburger thrown at his face. Come on,
What's that?
he gets a hamburger thrown at his face.
Yeah, yeah, and deservedly so. Um, uh, uh, Chris Sarandon is awesome as Jerry. Uh, 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 what's his name? Roddy McDowell is
Hmm.
perfect as Peter Vincent, and I just love uh, that kind of throwback to the Van Helsing type character, and
Yeah.
the you know uh, Peter Cushing, Vincent Price, like
Plus, he's a horror movie host, which you gotta
yes,
love.
yeah, exactly, and the fact that he's like uh, so cowardly is
Hmm.
funny.
Yeah.
Um, I love his first, when he's trying to humor Charlie and he actually discovers, holy shit, Charlie's right.
Yeah.
When he does that little test. Um, I also loved like this. No one really talks enough about the character, the servant to Jerry.
Hmm.
I don't know what his deal is, like what type of ghoul he is.
Nobody does. We all wondered that, like what is
Yeah,
he?
but I loved that character. Like when Charlie brings the cop to the house and he's like, "Yeah, go on, tell him, Charlie," and he's just making all these faces at Charlie. It's hilarious.
I love that actor too. He was in House 2 also as
Yeah,
what's his name's best friend. I can't remember the actor's name. It'll come to me. But like he's got that smart assy smugness to him that I've always liked.
yeah, yeah, and he does it so well.
Jonathan Stark. Anyway, yeah, what was he? Like he turns into like Jello.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't know because like
Evil Ed as the comic relief. Yeah.
you see that he's in daylight, so he's obviously not. It's not like a Renfield situation. Um, but yeah, I've always kind of wondered what he was. I got the what's his name, Holland, Tom Holland 1.0. He wrote he did like an expanded novel of Fright
Mm.
Night, and I picked that up and I started reading it. I got to finish it.
Well, he also wants to do his own Fright Night too, which I
Yep.
don't know because I like Fright Night too, the one that we got,
Me too.
and I wouldn't mind seeing what he would do. He's way too old, I think, to make movies at this point, but I am curious to know what his Fright Night 2 would look like.
Yeah. I hope at least he does it in book form. I hope he follows up the expanded novel that he did.
I don't know what's been going on with him. What's wrong with this? All right. So that's Seth's list, and real fast, I'll read through them. I'm not gonna do the pictures; it takes too long. Number 10 is 30 Days of Night. Number 9 is Daybreakers, which is available streaming on Paramount Plus. John Carpenter's Vampires at number 8. Number 7 is Salem's Lot, the 1979 movie miniseries. Let's just call it that. Number 6 is Stakeland, which is available to watch on Tubi. You should watch it. Number 5 is From Dusk Till Dawn. Number 4 is Subspecies 2, or Bloodstone Subspecies 2. Number 3 is Martin, the George Romero film. And then 2 is The Lost Boys and Fright Night.
You're so
I,
cool.
I would watch that show, just so you know.
Yeah, I would too.
All right. So my list is a little bit different. Coming in number 10 is the Western, kind of Western, Near Dark. There's always the question, which vampire movie do you like best from the 1980s, Near Dark or The Lost Boys? I guess because they came out in the same year. But what? Why? Near Dark's good. I like it. Bill Paxton's fantastic. But like Fright Night, why is Fright Night ever never talked about? That's a good question, actually. I'm going to ask people what they think about Fright Night, or of the three big vampire movies of the 1980s. But yeah, Near Dark would be my number 10. And new this year is Sinners. I loved it.
Okay.
I think about it a lot still, and a lot of it is because people compare it From Dusk Till Dawn, and in many ways it's very similar. But the beginning of this movie. They're very similar. There's the lead up, where you're not sure what's going on. These two brothers are trying to open a bar in a predominantly white area in the South, and then vampires attack the bar. Basically, From Dusk Till Dawn. But it's fun. Michael B. Jordan plays twins. He's really good. And have you seen this yet?
Yeah, I loved it.
Okay. Yeah, I really loved it the first time I watched it. It's I think number 2 on my list for this year, so it's making my vampires list because it's one that's kind of sticking with me for the year. I really like it the more I think about it.
Hmm.
And Michael B. Jordan's good. Haley Steinfeld is really good and crude, which I've never seen her like that. And the
Yeah.
vampires are cool. Vampires are cool again.
Hmm.
We're post Twilight, and it's phenomenal because we're getting some cool movies with vampires. Coming in at number 8 for me is Stakeland. Awesome movie. Again, we've already discussed Stakeland a little bit. It's another. I need to revisit Stakeland. It's been a while since I've seen it. I even like Stakeland 2.
I
It's
did
not
too.
as good,
Yeah.
but it's good. You know,
Yep.
we do get to see Creighton Duke more in Stakeland 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and another bit new one coming on my list, which might be a surprise. Number 7 is Abigail. This movie was awesome.
A lot of fun, man. This
It's
was
so much fun, and
blast.
a little kid vampire. I prefer this little kid vampire to this little kid vampire. I'm just saying. Maybe I just like more fun movies than dour artsy movies. But Abigail is freaking awesome. It's a lot of fun. The girl who plays Abigail is so good. You get the cast of what I guess they're thieves, right?
Yeah.
They're awesome, all of them, every single one of them. And I know. What's your favorite line from the movie?
Sammy, those are fucking onions.
Yeah. I mean, Catherine Newton, Melissa Barrera are
Yeah.
both in it. Also, which they're both really good. And Catherine Newton's kind of a rising star. She was in Lisa Frankenstein. She was in one of the Paranormal Activities and the newest Ant-Man movie.
And she was
Um,
in Supernatural.
was she?
Yep.
When?
She was in multiple seasons. So she plays Claire Novak, the daughter of the man that Castiel took the body of.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
Yep.
So the thing is, most like rewatching Supernatural with Helena. We just finished Justin Abello, and
Love that
like,
episode.
yeah, there's not much that I remember from the first. There's some stuff I remember, but like, there's episodes I'm like, I do not remember this at all.
Hmm.
Which is good because it's been a while since I've seen a lot of them. I didn't like those shows. We used to rewatch them before the seasons, but as the seasons get longer and you get more seasons, it's harder to watch them before the new season starts.
Yep.
So because we would get the DVD and rewatch them. But anyway, if you haven't seen Abigail, check it out. It's awesome. I really like it. Seth really was one of our top 10 from last year, maybe 15.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Coming in number 6 is John Carpenter's Vampires. And we talked about it before, but fucking James Woods, man. Fucking James Woods.
Yeah.
He's amazing in this movie. Uh, I love him in this one. Plus, Valak is played by the guy who plays Terry Silver in Karate Kid 3 and Cobra Kai.
Yep.
Yep. And coming in at number 5 for me is Salem's Lot. Again, we spoke about Salem's Lot. We will be doing an episode at some point, maybe next week. We'll see. I think I even mentioned this to you a couple days ago. I want to do an episode on Salem's Lot.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, I definitely
I'm
want
down
to
for
do.
that.
Dude, it's I love Salem's Lot. The reveal of Barlow was so good,
Yep.
and not to mention the Marston house is so iconic looking.
Yeah.
The construction of it, even though it wasn't even like a real house, they just built the facade on that little hilltop.
Yep.
But they did such a good job. Coming in at number four, and I'm breezing through these again because we've talked about almost all of them. The Lost Boys. I mean, The Lost Boys. There's not much I can say that hasn't been said about it. It's a great movie. You're very engaged with all of the characters, even Diane Wiest, the mother. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, her and then Max and shit. You're engaged with Nanook, the dog.
Yeah.
You care about Nanook. He's a good boy. Is Nanook a boy? I'm thinking. I think he is.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah. Uh, coming in number three, we just talked about it. Fright Night. The thing I like about Fright Night is it's kind of a campy vampire movie, but serious at the same time.
Yeah.
Because with the Roddy McDowall character and the Fright Night TV series and the weird stuff going on between Amy and Charlie and how he's like more interested in watching Peter Vincent than having sex with her. Like
Yeah.
it's just fun stuff like that. I like Jerry Dandridge getting into Charlie's house through his mother,
Yeah.
there's just so much good with Fright Night, and I do feel like Fright Night gets overlooked when it comes to vampire movies in the 1980s.
Yep.
It's a great time. It's fun, and you get that iconic cross burning on Evil's head that is, and he turns into a wolf after he's. It's good. It's like I love that he turns into a wolf and he gets stabbed and he just turns back into evil. It's man, Fright Night's cool, man.
Yep.
And I wish they would have spawned more than just one sequel because the remake is fine.
Hmm.
I did think Colin Farrell was good as Jerry
Oh,
Dandridge,
yep.
and I love Anton Yelchin.
Yep.
So of course we love him as Odd Thomas, my daughter's favorite movie, and she's been reading the book,
Oh,
the
she's
first
being
one.
Thomas.
Yeah, I bought it. Me and one of my friends, Ron, who writes for the Horror Syndicate, we take our sons out and go searching for action figures and books and comics and stuff. And I what was in Books a Million, and I just saw it sit not Books a Million, half price books, and I saw it sitting there. I was like, oh, this I have to get this. So I bought it, and now she's got Thomas, and she was very happy.
Well,
So
the best thing with that is that there's like six other books after that. Like
yeah,
it's a big
so
series. So and it's
I
a
definitely wanted to read the series.
I recommend that series highly. I've read those books multiple times. So fucking good. Anyway, we're talking about vampires.
Yeah, Thomas is awesome.
Yeah.
But coming in number two for me is From Dusk Till Dawn. All I'm going to say is Sex Machine. How can we not talk about Sex Machine? Well, the one thing I like about the movie, when you get to the bar, before you even know they're vampires, we get to see this assorted like
Yeah.
group of characters. From Cheech being the barker outside to Sex Machine at the table, Fred Williamson,
Yeah.
who's in a bunch of movies with the N word in the title. I'm not joking. Go look it up. And Greg Nicotero's there
Yep.
also.
Yep.
So yeah, Danny Trejo. It's just, and then of course Salma Hayek being the most beautiful creature on the face of the earth. There's not a bad thing about this movie that I can say. I mean, some of the vampire effects later are bad, but who gives a fuck? The movie's fun as hell.
Yep.
And then my number one, and don't curse me, Interview with the Vampire. So I love Anne Rice. I've read probably 80% of her works outside of the Vampire Chronicles. With the Witching Hour, the Pandora, and pretty much all the Vampire Chronicles, including the offsets like the Vampire Armand and a few other ones. So when this came out in 1994, I was there opening night because I had read, I think, the first four books at that point, which are The Interview with a Vampire, The Vampire Lestat, Queen of the Damned, and we won't talk about that movie, although I like it, but most people hate it. and then Memnoch the Devil. So I had watched I read all those books, and like when I found out they were making a
I
movie,
thought
I was 14. I was like, "Fuck, I got to go see this," and I did. And it's not great. It's not a faithful, complete adaptation, but it's very good. And it's just, I think this is Tom Cruise. It's like, why is he playing Lestat? Number one, that was my first question. Number two is like, he did a good job as playing Lestat. And Brad Pitt, I was fairly much didn't know who he was at the time. But I was like, I really like this guy, Brad Pitt, and it's just really good. I wish it was a little bit longer, but other than that, I love this movie. I just watched it the other day, and the score is one that is always in my head. It's such a sweeping, emotional score that like I don't know, it's haunting at the same time. I love it. And Neil Jordan did a great job making this movie, and Anne Rice approved. So, Interview with the Vampire is my favorite vampire movie that is not a Dracula movie. Do you like this movie? I don't think I've ever asked you.
Yeah, so actually I do, and it's funny because I was having a discussion with Amber before we went live because I told her what the topic tonight was, and I read her my list of top 10, and then she was naming off her top 10, and this is her favorite as well. She's just also a huge
Well, she's
vampire.
smart, so
Yeah. So my thing is that I really like Interview with a Vampire, but it's not one that I go to rewatch often. Um, so it's like I like it, but I don't love it. Um, I think the cast is phenomenal, especially Tom Cruise. Like he is so good in this movie.
mm,
Um, Brad Pitt, like when he was doing this film, he was still like a newcomer
yeah,
into
yeah.
acting. He had a few stuff around this time or whatever.
Legends of the Fall, maybe I think had
Yes,
been
Legends
out.
of the Fall. Yep,
California, I think was out. Yeah, little
yep,
things. Yeah,
yep. Yeah, and I think he also had a small role in True Romance as well.
yeah. Yep.
Um, but uh, yeah, no, this is a very good film, very good story, very good acting. Obviously, my favorite scene is when Louis uh, rains hell on all the vampires
Oh my God, yeah.
after they kill Claudia. They
The
got what they
theater of the
fucking
vampires.
deserve.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, uh, yeah, it's a very, very good movie. It's just one that I don't rewatch often.
and
Um,
there's a lot to this movie. I think people take for granted when Louis and Claudia go to Paris and they meet Armand and Antonio Banderas was great.
yep,
And they see that they put on the show and the girls naked and everything, and it's so like Louis says monstrous in that scene, and he's not wrong. There's just I think there's a depth to this movie that not people get, and a lot of people make fun of it. Oh, they're gay. Well, maybe. Who cares? I mean, they're two men raising a daughter. Also, like, who gives a shit? It's not. That's not what the movie is about. It's very deep, and this was
that's
one of those movies that got me through a lot when I was a teenager. Um,
yeah. I mean, I think that is a very subtle undercurrent.
mhm,
Um, Now, if you've seen the TV show that they've made of this, they really lean into that in the TV show.
mhm.
Uh, but I think with the movie and with the books, uh, I think Anne Rice does a good job of just making a subtle undercurrent without being.
Yeah. Well, I mean, really, what it comes to is it's Louis is trying to find out the truth of what he is and why. So Lestat is looking for companionship, and it doesn't mean a lover or whatever. It's somebody to because he's going to be here forever, and he wants
That's
somebody to live out the days with.
that's exactly it because it tackles to a certain degree the psyche of immortality.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Hmm.
fact that you know you fall in love or make friends with a human, they're going to eventually die, and you're just going to keep living, and you're not going to have anyone.
Hmm.
And it's about finding a companionship with other immortals, and then and as far as like Claudia goes, it's a matter of being responsible. Um, I guess.
Yeah, I think that when people take this movie at face value, and it's a shame because Interview the Vampire, there's a lot there, and I love it.
Yeah,
Like
no,
when I
it's
was
good.
putting together my list, I'm like, okay, I love this movie. Okay, I love this movie, and I'm like, what would? And I'm like, I just watch Interview with the Vampire, and I was grinning ear to ear just because of how much I love this movie. I had a tape with three movies on it, and this was one of them. And a lot of times on the weekends, like I'd get up early on a Sunday morning, I'd pop that tape in, and an Interview with the Vampire was the first thing I'd watch. And like you said, great cast, great acting, but not even like going beyond. And you know how I feel about set dressing and set design, perfect for time periods. And I like that it goes from the 1700s through into the 1980s. 1988 is when he
Mm-hmm.
sees Lestat again. So it's I don't know, and again, it's not a perfect adaptation of Anne Rice's novel, but it's so good, and she embraced it as well before she passed away. Queen of the Damned, on the other hand, she did not. What a fucking clusterfuck of a mess. I still like Queen of the Damned because it's an Anne Rice property. Plus, the soundtrack is killer in my opinion.
I was just gonna say that. Like, I
Have you?
still
Yeah,
listen to that soundtrack to
me
this day.
too. It's
Yep,
awesome because Jonathan Davis of Korn, I think he wrote all the songs,
he did.
but
Yep.
in the soundtrack, the CD, they had other people sing the vocals because he was under contract with
Yeah.
another studio or whatever. But like Forsaken, David Draymond from Disturbed does that song. That song is perfect. That is the perfect song for a vampire, and especially in Anne Rice's world because they're forsaken to be alone. And that's the whole Lestat's big thing anyway is not wanting to live out life alone. He's always looking for somebody, you know. But Interview with the Vampire, definitely my favorite vampire movie that's not Dracula. Now, if we talk about Dracula, 1958, The Horror of Dracula, my favorite Dracula movie, probably my favorite vampire movie. Bram Stoker's Dracula would be right up there as well. What about you?
Yeah, the horror of Dracula for sure. I'm a big Peter Cushing fan.
How can you not love this face?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Christopher Lee is great as Dracula, but specifically Peter Cushing as Van Helsing. Um, the original 1931 film from Todd Brown, huge
Lugosi,
fan of
yeah.
that. That's like one of those that's like uh, it's been a part of me since I was a kid. So I have a lot of love for that. I dig Dracula Untold.
I
Bram
like that one
Stoker's,
too.
yeah, Bram Stoker's Dracula, fantastic movie. Um, they're just, yeah, I mean, and guilty pleasure, I'll admit it, Dracula 2000.
I like that movie. I like the twist on that one. The Judas twist.
Yeah,
I thought it was different. It was interesting.
yeah.
I like that movie. We'll do a top 10 Dracula list at some point. I also forgot to mention Count Yorga. It's like an American Dracula ripoff. That's why I didn't add it to like even anything else. These are dumb, but I like them. Uh, yeah, Count Yorga. This is the Arrow collection. Sorry, it's the like ring light, but check out this box art. What the fuck is going on here? Right? There's a great line in the second movie where he's at a costume party, and these are from like 1971, 1972, somewhere around there. Craig T. Nelson's in the first one as a
Oh,
vampire
shit.
hunter. Yeah, but he's at this costume party, and somebody's like, "Who are you dressed up as?" He's like, "I'm a vampire," and she goes, "Where are your fangs?" He goes, "Where are your manners?" It's like I'm come on,
Yeah.
kill him, not Jordan. But they're fun movies. There's also another Hammer movie, a couple Hammer movies like the all of the Carmilla movies, but I kind of can put those in the Dracula camp a little bit. Yeah, the Twins of Evil, things like that. And then there's also Kronos the Vampire Hunter, which is really fun. But for some reason, I can't like not watch those and think of the Dracula Hammer movies because they're all filmed very similar, and they're probably written by the same guy also.
Yeah.
Can't think of his name offhand, but yeah, a lot of good stuff there. If you want me and Seth to do an episode next week on Salem's Lot, let us know in the comments. We can do kind of a little bit of a deep dive into Salem's Lot, leading into October, even though it's going to be in fucking 90 degrees the next few days here. Um,
That sucks for you.
don't even get me started. It does suck for me. I'm so over hot weather. Like we had 2 weeks maybe where it was in the 70s and it was bliss. And this last week and a half, it's been in the 90s again. It's like, why? And then like into the end of September, it's going to be in the 80s. It's like, I want cool weather. But if you want us to talk about Salem's Lot, let us know in the comments. Otherwise, we'll come up with something different. Coming up, I think we have 2 more weeks of September. So let me see.
So can I tell you something? Uh, for the last couple of weeks, it's been
Yeah,
like
2 weeks.
in the 60s here. This week it's in the 70s, but not to rub it in or anything, but you know, that is uncalled for and hurtful, sir.
I mean, honestly, like I feel like I should probably. I feel like I'm more of a northeastern kind of guy. Like as far as temperature and weather and all that stuff, I feel like that's where I should be. Like I keep wanting to visit the Northeast. Like Salem's a place I've always wanted to visit, uh, mostly because of the witch trials and such. But like every time I think about it, I feel like I belong out there, mostly because of the weather. I know there's hot summers and such, but nothing like the Midwest. Whew,
Yeah,
you get fucking rotten crotch pretty fast outside, or swamp ass, or whatever you want to call it.
yeah.
I like rotten crotch. But anyway, let us know what your top 10 vampire movies are, non Dracula vampire movies. Uh, and we probably, I guess we could do a whole top 10 Dracula movies because there are so many. I
Like
mean,
1,000.
yeah, I mean, you got Dan Curtis's Dracula with Jack Palance. You've got the 1979 Frank Langella led Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Got Dracula 3000 with Casper
Dracula
Van
3000. Yeah, there you go. And then Christopher Lee, I think, is in 6 Dracula movies. There's the Brides of Dracula, which I guess you can count with Peter Cushing. Uh, there's the Son of Dracula with Lon Chaney Jr., Dracula's daughter. So many things. Dracula. There's another movie I thought about including in my list. It's The Return of the Vampire with Lugosi, but Paramount made it, and it's very much a Dracula story, but they didn't have the rights.
Mm,
So I didn't include it. I was like, that's still basically a Dracula movie. Same thing with Nosferatu. Nosferatu, in my opinion, counts as
yeah,
Dracula. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, that's why we don't see Nosferatu on this list. And I think I'm not a fan of silent movies, but Nosferatu is fine. I like the 1979 Claude Kinski, what's Werner Herzog movie,
Yep.
and the new one from last year was really good as well. Does Dracula just need to be in the movie? No, no, that's why Brides of Dracula. He's not in the movie at all. I think it's like Dracula and Dracula adjacent, and is what I would consider a Dracula movie. Um,
Yeah, I
because
mean, Brides of Dracula, if I remember correctly, is sort of like an extension on the horror of Dracula, right? Like,
yeah,
but it's just acknowledging that Dracula's not there.
yeah. So Van Helsing killed Dracula in Horror Dracula. In the second movie, deals with Count something or other, or a Baron. I can't remember his name. He's weird looking. He looks like Michael Sheen. I think that's his name from Underworld, which we didn't mention, by the way. Underworld's another some good movies, but he looks like him without a beard, in my opinion, like goofy looking because Michael Sheen's goofy looking without
Yeah,
his
I can
beard.
see that. I can see
Yeah,
that.
he's in 30 Rock, and actually his character name in 30 Rock is Wesley Snipes. So yeah.
Nice.
By the way, that's another thing we didn't have Blade in our lists.
My original list had Blade 2 on it, but I wasn't sure about Salem's Lot, so uh,
So Blade I took out because of Blade Trinity,
which has Dracula.
which
Okay,
has
good.
Dracula. There you
Okay,
go.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See where I'm thinking? This is where my brain is. Uh, yeah. But I'm not even joking. I was like, oh, yeah, let's not forget Blade. And I was like, wait a second. I said non Dracula vampire movies. And
I didn't.
technically, the first 2 Blade movies don't have Dracula in them, although the guy in the second movie could be a version of Count Orlok. I mean, he looks very much like him, but wax.
Yeah.
So. Uh, oh God, I don't know. I like Boy Home. I don't know what's going on here. Cool. By the way, Seth, got great news for you. If you're interested in knowing,
You save 15% or more on your car insurance by switching to Geico.
no, we are 301 followers from 80,000 on the Horror Syndicate's Facebook.
Nice,
That's insane.
nice.
Yeah, we got a like that. Army of Darkness versus Silence of the Lambs is over 3,000 votes, and it's propelled us to get so many more followers. Like we've had over 1,000 in the last 2 days.
Awesome.
Exactly. It's the Dracula multiverse. Thank you very much, and hopefully you follow us on Facebook. We will be doing the 2000s bracket starting September 25th to find out which movie is the best of 2000s. And spoiler alert, it's going to be Trick or Treat. It was 5 years ago when we did this 5 years ago, and it likely will be this time. Um,
Ooh.
so don't forget October. We've got some shows lined up. We're going to be doing the Salem's Lot, not Salem's Lot, Jesus, subspecies uh, ranking and kind of reviews of all. Is it 6 movies then with Vampire Journals?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, are we include? I think we should include Vampire Journals
It's a
because
part of the universe, so yeah.
it's actually important for 4 and subspecies 5.
Oh, so I haven't seen 5 yet.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if I've seen 4 or not. I'm gonna see if I can buy those before the other ones I don't have. And then we've got a couple other shows lined up. Seth, do you remember what the other shows were?
Uh, no, I don't remember. I got a
Hmm.
bad memory. I'm old.
Yeah, it's well, one of
I don't even know
them.
who you are. What's your name?
I am Clark Kent.
Sounds
We are
familiar.
doing 3 shows on the Wicker Man from 2006.
Wow, nice try, fuckface.
We have to do the Wicker Man at some point. We said that we were going to do it. No, subspecies is October 6th, so that's on a Monday. My daughter's birthday is on the following Tuesday, so we're not doing a show that day. But Seth also brought up he wanted to talk about the Dark Universe. I call it the Folly because they only made one movie. But you remember when they were doing the Mummy
Yeah.
and they were going to
Yep.
make all these, yeah. So we're going to do that. We're going to talk Hammer versus Universal, kind of like not really a versus against each other, but like just talk about both of them in general. And
Yeah.
then I wanted to do, I don't know if we're going to do this one or not, but Halloween 2018 Kills and Ends, How to Improve Them. That was a thought. We may or may not do that for the last week of October, but we'll see. So it's going to be a fun month as long as it's not 85 to 90 degrees. Ugh. Anyway, Seth, is there anything else you want to say before we head out for the evening?
No, there's nothing I
What
want to
are
say.
you doing a show this week?
Yes, I am. I yeah. I'm covering the first Howland movie. I was gonna do it last week, so.
Oh, I erased your images. I thought you already did it.
Oh no, that's fine. I did I covered the
Oh, that was the
trilogy.
book. Okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
gotcha.
I covered the trilogy of books beforehand. Last week I could have done it on Wednesday, but I was like partially lazy, also partially like I've been getting obsessed with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I was like, oh, I'll just do it Thursday. And then Thursday came around, and I forgot I had made plans with my friend to go see The Long Walk. Um, but yeah, I'm getting back on the Howlin' this week for sure, and then in a couple weeks from now, you'll be joining me as part of the bet that you lost or whatever for the Howlin' 3. It's
It
gonna be
wasn't really bad. It was. I said if we got to 72,000 or whatever it was by
yeah,
a certain time and followers, and
yeah.
boy, I thought I was like, we may or may not make it. We made it in like 2 days,
Yeah,
and now
I
we're
feel
almost
like
to
it's fate,
80,000.
like you're meant to rewatch Howlin' 3, the marsupials.
I don't know what I like. This has been sitting here for a couple of weeks. I do not. I honestly don't know what to even think about this. Like, I know it's a bad movie, and they're making a movie at one point inside the movie.
Yep, Shapeshifters 8.
Yeah. Anyway, So there's a lot to look forward to. I got to get. Oh, I watched a horror movie the other day. That Nate came highly recommended. Dangerous Animals. Did you get a chance to watch that yet?
No, no, no. I'm actually gonna wait for Amber with that because she's a shark person. So
It's not a shark attack movie.
okay, but
I'll just warn you
there are
that.
sharks in there, right?
Yeah,
Okay, she'll like that part.
yeah. It's the Jay Courtney, whatever, Captain Boomerang. He's good in it.
No, what's funny is I was watching the trailer. I saw the trailer for that, and I was like, "Holy shit! This is gonna be like the second movie where I actually like his
What was the
character,
first?
Suicide Squad," because
Yeah,
I hated him as an actor before then, but his Captain Boomerang was goddamn hilarious, and I
it
loved it.
was.
He was so
Yeah,
good at you know
it made me want to be like, I could watch him do more of this stuff. Plus, he got to use his
yeah
actual accent.
yeah
But like, he played John McClane's son. He was in. He played
yeah
Kyle
I
Reese.
yeah I hated him as Jack McClane. I
Well, they were trying to make him the it guy. You
yeah
know.
I hated him in what the fuck was it? Oh, he, there's nothing about him that screams Kyle Reese to me. So casting him as Kyle Reese in Terminator Genesis was like, I was like, what the fuck? Because Kyle Reese is my favorite character in the Terminator franchise, and I'm like, this is not working for me.
That movie had a lot going for it, and it just completely failed. And a lot of the problems came because, like, they have what's his name? Like he plays John Connor.
Oh yeah, Jason Clark.
Yeah, Jason Clark. I love him.
Hmm.
Even though I couldn't remember his name, and it just they blew it by giving away. It's like they it was like the Doomsday reveal in BVS. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, Terminator franchise is just always doomed to fail. Let's start a new trilogy. Oh, never mind. They've tried it 3 times now, and it's failed every time.
Yep.
So was the last
Well, the
one the
last
one with
movie
Linda
was fucking
Hamilton?
awesome.
Yeah, that was
Yep.
Dark Fate, right?
Dark Fate. I fucking hated that film with a
Yeah,
passion.
I didn't care for it either. But anyway, that might be a franchise we could talk about on here because a lot of people think of the first one as a
It,
horror movie.
it is.
I no, I don't think it is. But that's just me. You and Nate can talk about it then. No, I think we should talk about it just because it's a cool movie.
Well, I think we can. I mean, for starters, you own the horror syndicate, so you can do whatever the fuck you want. And two, the, we should be able to allow. We should be able to be allowed to slip in a couple of like other genre stuff, or at least something like with the Terminator, something that has horror like elements in it, even though it may not be considered a horror film to you. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, my problem, and you guys know this about me. If it's not labeled somewhere as horror, I can never look at it as a horror movie.
Fair
That's
enough.
just something wrong with my brain, I guess. Like I'm looking right now to see if it's labeled as a horror movie anywhere, and it's not. Yeah,
Well, I
it's a
have a
great movie.
problem.
I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love Terminator. The
Well,
Terminator.
it's funny that you say that because I have a kind of a similar problem where there's certain movies that are labeled as horror that I don't see as horror at all,
Hmm.
such as Army of Darkness, associated to a horror franchise. Maybe a couple little horror elements in there here and there, but that's a swashbuckling adventure film, in my
It
opinion.
is, but the thing that one actually says it's horror on
Yeah,
on So I like when people because that's been in the comments all week. Oh, Army of Darkness is not a horror movie. Well, first of all, if you love Shaun of the Dead and you say that that's a horror movie and Army of Darkness is not, then like there's that Shaun of the Dead is in the same camp in my opinion. It's a zombie movie, but it's a comedy first.
yeah.
So anyway, great show in my opinion. Thanks everyone who took a minute to watch, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. We really appreciate that. Next week maybe Salem's Lot. depending on what these people say and if I watch it. It's definitely one I need to revisit. And then we've got a week before October after that, so we'll figure it out.
Well,
And
if we do, I would like to know just so I can revisit the book.
with Salem's Lot.
Yeah,
Well,
and
let's
just
just plan that plan on Salem's Lot for Tuesday.
okay, awesome, sounds good.
Yeah, because I definitely want to watch it. But Seth, it was good seeing you. Have a great week. The rest of the week. Enjoy the show next whatever day you do it,
Yeah,
Wednesday or
whatever.
Thursday.
Yeah, one of those days.
Werewolf Weekly.
Oh, actually, I should do it tomorrow because Thursday, the Bills play the Dolphins.
On Thursday.
Yep.
2-0.
It'll be 3-0 for them.
It'll be 3-0. The Dolphins are so bad.
Oh, they're awful.
Yeah. Anyway.
They're so disjointed.
I wonder why. Anyway, have a great night, everyone. We'll see you next week for Salem's Lot. Lottie Dottie, we like to